Alright. Hello. Finally back to complete this game, hopefully. I don't know how much of the game I have left to complete, but yeah. Because I can tell the final case is going to be a long one. Looks like I'm halfway through. Well, from the looks of the game achievements, it looks like there's 6 chapters, and I'm on the 6th chapter right now, so I'm on the final case. So, yeah. Yes, and yeah, for now, yeah. Because I did read the Steam news that this game is also going to have a DLC coming up. A DLC case that's going to be releasing sometime, somewhere, I don't know. But it's definitely better than Dragon Age, yeah. That is true. Better than Veilguard. At least the writing is very in-depth. You even go out of their way to even put late Qing Dynasty trivia facts into the game that you can easily access, just to understand the context of how the fictional world operates based off the late Qing Dynasty's era. Now I shall do things. Yeah. See ya. Anyway, now what did I left off from? I think I left off from here. Shanghai Enigma. Now our hopes are all on Cece. I hope her testimony won't be too surprising. Even Miss Wen has moments of being at a loss. Was that? Oh no, that's a different. No, that's Toby Chung. Do you need my help? Toby Chung? What? Toby Chung? What are you doing here? Isn't that Shun's briefcase? Why is it in your hands? Shun Peng asked me to deliver it to you. Huh? Shun? Toby Shun, why did you meet Mr. Shun? And why did he ask you to do something for him? Did you forget? Shun Peng is the younger brother of my classmate. You always seize any opportunity for personal gain. Nah, I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity for an exclusive interview. Miss Su and Miss Wen, the court trial is about to start. Since the item's been delivered, I will take my leave. If all well, I'll be outside, waiting for good news from you. Base Court of Sunshine International Settlement. Mr. Tin Woodman, are we going to see the Wizard for real soon? Yes, and you will meet more than one. Mr. Ginger, are you ready to help Mr. Scarecrow now? So this is Mr. Ginger. His fluffy appearance is quite adorable. Your Honors, I believe you're both well. Old Belle, fancy joining me for a cuppa later? You're still as refined as ever, Herman. Sir Belle, I never expected that this small case would also stir your involvement. The court summoned my granddaughter to testify. I'm with her. Will this cause inconvenience? No, of course not. Excuse me, are you the wizard? Yes. Cece, I have told you, in the courtroom you can't speak without permission. Okay, Mr. Lion.
Children's words are harmless. They won't cause trouble.
Judge Kwon, shall we start the trial?
Witness Cece, please describe the circumstances of how your cat, Mr. Ginger, went missing.
That night, Mr. Tin Woodman, Mr. Ginger, and I went to see magic. After the show, Mr. Tin Woodman left to chop wood, and Mr. Ginger and I took a pumpkin carriage home. On the way home, I fell asleep and woke up to a noise. Then I found Mr. Ginger was gone. Thankfully, Mr. Scarecrow found him later.
Pumpkin carriage? Scarecrow? Magic? This... Cece has a vivid imagination and likes to narrate her experiences using fairy tales.
Mr. Joseph, may I ask Cece some questions?
Of course.
Cece, can you tell me about the magic show that night?
Someone stole Miss Witch's cards, but luckily she had enchanted them, so she could call their names without even looking, and the magic worked. The cards suddenly turned into flowers, then the flowers into a dove. It flew away. Blindfolded card guessing, playing cards turning into flowers. This is Julia's magic trick, the wonderful hands.
Cece, can you tell me about Mr. Tin Woodman chopping wood?
Mr. Tin Woodman has a sharp axe that can split any wood. After the show, he took his axe to chop wood so Cece could stay warm.
I didn't understand that at all. Cece, can you explain it to Mr. Scarecrow in a simpler way? After all, I haven't got a real brain yet.
Let me explain Cece's words. After the show, Woodman Bell had some work to attend to, so the driver took Cece home first.
Ah, I see. Can you tell me what is the pumpkin carriage?
A pumpkin carriage is simply that, a pumpkin carriage. Mrs. Scarecrow, haven't you tried one?
Well, I guess not.
Cece, is the pumpkin carriage pulled by horses? There is no horses, because Mr. Coachman can do magic. He just spins the wheel in his hands and the pumpkin carriage flies.
I understand now. It's a car. Cece, what does the noise that woke you up sound like?
It was a really loud noise. Could it be that the sound of a gunshot? A loud bang? No, it wasn't a bang. It was a dong, dong, dong. A very loud thud, thud, thud sound. Could it be the sound of a clock striking?
Cece, how many bell sounds did you hear?
Mr. Ginger, do you remember? Neither Cece nor Mr. Ginger remember. Alpha, what do you think of Cece's testimony?
By combining the testimony with this evidence, we can infer the time when Mr. Ginger went missing. Where's the one that talks about the bell ringing? Or do we just use the Magic Troop poster? Because she was there. She was around that time. Because she was there. So wait, when does the bell ring exactly? Wait, when does the bell ring? never seen this. Yeah. Cece, do you know what this is?
Huh? Is it Miss Witch's picture?
Did she perform magic for you on the night that Mr. Ginger went missing?
Yes, she did. Miss Witch turned the cards into flowers. Mr. Ginger went missing after the magic performance, which is after 8:45 p.m. The time he was locked in the cellar cannot be before that. And at 8:30 p.m., Mr. Shun had already been arrested.
Yes, indeed.
Judge Kwan, Mr. Joseph, the person who opened the secret door to the cellar is the real culprit.
Regarding the counsel's argument, does the prosecutor have anything to say? The defense counsel's doubts are valid. I lost.
Prosecutor Bell, I've never seen you admit defeat in court before.
Mr. Ginger's revelations overturns all my previous logic. Even if the murder occurred at 8 p.m., the person entering the cellar would have found the body. However, this person showed no signs of it, which is illogical. Joseph, you have never lost in court before. This experience of failure can also be considered a kind of game.
Bell, Mr. Bell!
Judge Kwan, since Mr. Bell has spoken, shall we bring this case to a close?
Judge Herman and I are on the same page. Then please bring the defendant to the court. Although the true culprit of this case has not been caught yet, but the suspicions on the defendant have been cleared. If there are no objections, I will proceed with the verdict.
Did we win? Did we save him? Is he innocent?
The trial of Shun Shun Ping, a Chinese accused of shooting and murdering Stone Wu. The verdict for the defendant, Shun Shun Ping, is not guilty.
Yay!
Corsine, we finally won. This battle was really not easy. We could finally breathe a sigh of relief.
Thank you all for your hard work. This trial will adjourn.
Wait a minute!
That voice. Shun?
The trial cannot end yet, because the true culprit of this case is right here in the courtroom. Oh, someone in the gallery.
Mr. Shun, you already found out who the real culprit is?
Judge Kwan, please order a temporary lockdown of the court, or there will be another murder.
But this is the international settlement.
The Shanghai governor has this authority.
Would you reveal the suspect's name? The police will take control of them.
This case is not just about capturing the culprit. There is a mastermind hiding in the shadows.
The mastermind?
This case is not just a single case. It has intricate connections to an old case I have been investigating for 3 years. It is also related to the recent high-profile theft case.
Mr. Shun, the jurisdiction of the court is limited to your alleged murder of Stone Wu. Whether it is accusing the true culprit of reporting the thief, please go to the police station. After the police verify the information, the prosecutor can initiate legal proceedings.
No, if the trial ends now, there'll be another bloodshed for sure.
Judge Herman, how about following Mr. Shun's suggestion and sealing off the court first? It wouldn't hurt to unseal it after the person he accuses has been arrested and detained.
Judge Kwan, how can you be sure that the person he accuses should be detained?
Just in case, you know.
Your Honors, you can detain me as well. If I make a mistake, I'm willing to bear the responsibility for false accusations and framing.
Judge Herman, it's a matter of life and death. we better believe it.
It's up to you, Judge Kwon.
Then I'm sorry to ask you all to wait in this courtroom for a while. Guards, lock down all entrances and exits of the courtroom.
Report. The mixed courtroom has been locked down. No one is allowed to enter or leave without permission.
Thank you for your assistance. John, please share your analysis.
The deductions made by Arthur and Miss Wen regarding the murderer's modus operandi are reasonable. It is true that I retrieved the pistol from Locker 212. Previously, as a suspect, my testimony was not accepted. Now you should be able to believe someone is using the police's arrest operation to frame me. As the arrest is confidential, the framing can succeed only if two major prerequisites are met. First, the framer has insider information on the theft case and uses it to facilitate the arrest. Second, the framer had the opportunity to hide the gun in the theater locker.
The person with the information on the theft and the chance to hide the gun appears to be... So it has to be someone in the court. It was me! It was you, Arthur! It was my brother! Or it could be Joseph. Senior... Mr. Ginger! Herman... Lead Saifu... The framer has insider information on the theft case and uses it to facilitate the arrest. Second, the framer had the opportunity to hide the gun in the theater locker. My feelings settle on Joseph, because Joseph wouldn't have the authority on that. Because we don't know what his exact whereabouts were during the incident. Well, it can't be Stone Wu because he's dead. Let's look over the evidence. Discarded tip-off letters. Well, not the judge, obviously. Yeah, I think it might be Joseph. No, never mind.
As a prosecutor, Mr. Joseph is well informed about the theft case and able to facilitate the arrest.
Actually, Mr. Joseph was not aware of the arrest operation that night. The few policemen involved were only told about the arrest after gathering at the theater.
I need to think more about it. Ow. My ego. It was Cece, Sing? Who could it be, I wonder? Fuck it. The murderer meets the criteria as the only one who went to the theater alone. What the... Sing? It'd be really nice to have some witness statements on me so that I'd be able to figure that out. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste time. It is Sing, okay. The person who meets both conditions is none other than Sergeant Sing. I knew you'd try to pin the blame on me. Are you saying that when Officer Wu testified, you realized you had been exposed?
On the night of the case, we received orders to gather at the Lyceum Theater at 7:15 p.m. It was only at the scene that we learned Sergeant Singh received a tip-off. Before the operation, Sergeant Singh had already checked those lockers. They were all empty.
You put the gun in the locker when you were checking them, didn't you? Hey you, so you think this clumsy ploy can deceive me? You're just seeking revenge on me.
Sergeant Singh, the secret arrest operation should be known only to you and the police involved. And you were the only one who went to the theater alone. If it wasn't you who put the gun in, who else could it be? Then who else could it be?
The operation was solely to track down that sly thief. I arranged the operation only after receiving the tip-off. Sergeant Singh, can you show us the tip-off? There's no harm in showing it to you. The Shanghai Phantom will transfer stolen goods through Lyceum's Theater's locker at 8:30 p.m. September 14. The tip-off is not signed, and the letters do not look like they were cut out from a newspaper.
The style of this note is identical to the other two notes Shun received.
I wonder where this tip-off came from. That's confidential. Why should I tell you?
The person who provided the tip-off is likely the one who killed Mr. Wu and framed Mr. Shun. Don't you want to capture them?
You!
Sergeant Singh, please disclose the source of the tip-off. As a prosecutor, I have the authority to know this information.
It was an anonymous letter received in the reward mailbox. Is that all? I swear by the Guru what I said is true. It's because the murderer was too cunning. They misled us with a false tip-off.
May I ask, Sergeant Singh, how many arrest operations were organized on the evening of the 14th?
There was only one, of course.
This is getting strange. Since the letters in the reward mailbox triggered the arrest, why didn't this piece of evidence...
This was discarded. Right? Yeah. I remember Officer Wu mentioning something about clues regarding the reward for the theft case.
After the reward was announced, reports flooded in like snowflakes. But most of them were hearsay and baseless rumors, adding more confusion to the investigation.
I have also seen a few letters that predicted the activities of the thief on September 14th. May I ask, Sergeant Singh, What is so special about this letter? So that among so many leads, only this one triggered the arrest operation.
Well, I have been serving as a sergeant for many years. Naturally, I have my own judgment.
How did you make your specific judgment?
Reward letters usually include an address as the informant's goal is to claim the reward. But this letter didn't leave anything. Experience and intuition told me that this information might be true, so I arranged the arrest. It's not unreasonable for Sergeant Singh to take action based on experience. I'm afraid I have been manipulated by the murderer. Mr. Shun, do you have anyone else to accuse? Please hurry.
Judge Kwan, the letter is new evidence. I need to examine it more carefully.
Sergeant Singh's reason seems to make little sense. Are you still suspicious of him?
It's not that simple. Let's see if we can find some clues from the letter.
Shun, this anonymous letter and the 2 notes you received look very similar. The letters on them were all cut from elsewhere and then pasted together.
It's highly likely the work of the same person. The paper used for printing is thin and rough, like newspaper.
Let me smell. This ink is undoubtedly from a newspaper. Let me smell. This ink smells. Okay.
This is common stationery, easily found anywhere.
Oh, there we go. Shun, seems like there are words on the back of the letter, but it's not very clear.
Try holding it up to the light.
Oh, there are indeed words. Too messy. It's difficult to distinguish.
Can we find a way to remove the paper fragments?
I'll try heating it up with fire to melt the adhesive. It should be almost done. We sin. When Kosin, it's you, Kosin. What is about me? Don't speak without thinking. I feel like I've seen this word somewhere.
It should be Olympiad, as I know London is currently hosting the games of the 4th Olympiad.
Prison? Oh, let's skip this word.
It's okay, let's keep looking. These are paper fragments all cut from newspapers. We are currently looking at the backside of the newspaper content.
Roman numeral 4. Not very common. Should refer to the games of the 4th Olympiad. Will we send a team to participate someday? Lupin. In that case, the Shanghai Phantom actually has some similarities to Lupin. There's a picture on the back of the paper fragment. It looks like a hat. And there are 3 partial words, each only half.
It looks like the words holding a gun.
This hat, the more I look at it, the more familiar it becomes. Oh, this is from Toby Shung's newspaper.
Han Yang? Why would Han Yang be mentioned suddenly?
Is this your report, Kosin? Shun, I got it! The pattern on the back of the Lyceum Theater. It's your hat!
Indeed.
Could it be that the person writing the anonymous letter is trying to imply something?
Are there any traces of processing or touch-ups on these paper fragments?
No, they're all ink printed.
Do you remember which newspapers have published my photos? Yeah, this one.
I remember now. It's that article. Detective Shun Chunping arrested last night. Why broke into the theater holding a gun?
The answer is quite obvious then.
Sergeant Singh, the anonymous letter you presented is forged.
How? How dare you say that?
The paper fragments on the anonymous letter were cut from a newspaper. This fragment is special. On its back is a drawing of Shun's hat with the words, "holding a gun." It comes from an article of Shanghai News on September 15th. Detective Shun Chunping arrested last night. Why broke into the theater holding a gun? If the anonymous letter was not fabricated afterwards, how could there be news of Shun's arrest on the back of the paper fragment? Yeah, because it was published the day after the incident.
The news press. The person who wrote the anonymous letter is from the news press.
Shanghai News is a daily paper, printed and sold on the same day. Even the newspaper editors cannot obtain the newspaper a day in advance.
Singh, did you kill Stone Wu?
You're not saying anything, so that means you're admitting it, right?
Sergeant Singh, we don't know each other, having briefly met that afternoon in the store. You wouldn't unjustly frame me unless someone instigated you to do so.
No, that's not true. No one instructed me.
Then why did you set Shun up? Oh damn, he's entering a stance.
Enough! I admit it. It was me. I did it all. Silence! Sergeant Singh, why did you kill Stone Wu? He had evidence against me. He threatened me many times, so I killed him to silence him.
Then why did you frame Mr. Shun?
Because he was a perfect scapegoat, and he happened to cross paths with me. Well, that does make sense. What does Judge Herman think?
Since Sergeant Singh has already confessed, let the police take custody of him.
This case has its twists and turns, but the truth will finally come to light.
No, that's still not the truth.
Mr. Shun, do you have anything to add?
Sergeant Singh framed and set me up, but he is not the murderer, Stone Wu.
Shun Chunping, I have already confessed. What else do you want?
According to Miss Wen and Afu's deduction on the modus operandi, Sergeant Singh had a concrete alibi. He couldn't have been at the store committing a murder.
This can't be possible. Sergeant Singh's alibi.
I think I've heard the police officers mention it. But if Sergeant Singh was not the murderer, then who could it be?
The murderer is familiar with the store, knows about the cellar and where Stone Wu hid the gun. More importantly, when I saw this person again, there was an additional mark on their body.
It was formed during the commitment of the crime.
Familiar with the foreign goods store with a distinctive mark on the body. Could it be?
Toby Chung?
Is that Toby Chung?
Yeah, familiar with a distinct mark on his... Hold on, let me double check. What mark? I don't see a mark on him. Someone who's familiar with the store. Familiar with the foreign goods store with a distinctive mark on the body. And knows about the cellar where Stonewu hid the gun. Again, when he saw the person again. I'm guessing it's Toby Chung. No? Could the murderer be Toby Chung? Based on the first trial, Miss Lee can provide an alibi for Miss Chung. Right, after leaving the theater, she was with Toby Chung. I'll think again. Okay, no, never mind. Familiar with the foreign goods store. No, Lee Ko wasn't aware of that. Watson? Distinctive mark on his body. A distinctive mark. Ting? Shun, I figured it out. It's actually Ting Xiang, who is the true culprit. That's right. The person who killed Stonewu is Ting Xiang, the assistant of the store. How could it be her?
Ting Xiang, please come to the court.
I'm sorry for causing trouble. I was just curious about what the trial would be like.
Ting Xiang, do you have anything to say regarding Mr. Shun's accusations?
Mr. Shun is right. It's all my fault. The boss must have been killed because of me being hired. I often messed things up and made him unhappy. I'm just a cursed person, always bringing misfortune to others. I truly regret it. If I hadn't taken the job at the foreign goods store, the boss, this wouldn't have happened.
Mr. Shun, are you sure Ting Xiang was the murderer? She appears to be timid and harmless.
Ting Xiang, there's something I'm curious about. I heard you were there for the initial investigation and helped the police with the inventory. But the police officers didn't discover the cell in the study. Did Mr. Wu ever mention it to you?
I don't know. I've only been at the foreign goods store for a short time, still adjusting to everything. It's all my fault. I didn't work hard enough. If I could have gained more trust from the boss, maybe he would have told me important things.
Mr. Shun, do you have any evidence to prove that Ting Xiang is the culprit?
Ahu, did you notice? There is a mark on Ting Xiang's body, which was made during the crime.
No, not that.
Callus is on the right hand. Oh, indicate of early frostbite. Yeah, she definitely knows. She was down in the cellar.
Ting Xiang, if you didn't know where there was a cellar in the study, then how do you explain the frostbite on your wrist?
There is indeed a frostbite mark on Ting Xiang's wrist. Could it be that she, like Mr. Ginger, came into contact with dry ice?
It's September. The weather is still warm. If it's not from contact with dry ice, how could Ting Xiang have frostbite on her wrist?
I wonder what dry ice is.
It's a solidified carbon dioxide used mainly for preservation and carbonated drinks, rarely found. Dry ice is extremely cold and can cause frostbite when it comes to contact with skin.
A few days ago, while helping my boss move fish, I accidentally came into contact with dry ice.
The appearance of frostbite wounds varies in different stages of the healing process.
I meant that morning when Mr. Shun and you came.
No need to lie anymore, Ting Xiang.
What voice did I use from again? Ting Xiang, please take care of Miss Lee.
Okay, sure.
When we visited, there were no injuries on your hand. Not only did I see it, Officer Wu, Miss Lee, and Afu can all testify to it.
Shun, you're indeed correct. At that time, Ting Xiang had no injuries on her hand.
At this stage, are you still unwilling to discard the disguise?
It seems that this introverted persona is truly unsuitable for the courtroom.
Oh shit! Oh my god.
When did you figure it out?
That afternoon in the store, I noticed the calluses between your right thumb and index finger. It is a typical sign of prolonged use of firearms.
You are indeed interesting. No wonder you have such a great reputation. I made a mistake earlier.
Unfortunately, at that time, I just found it strange, but I wasn't truly alarmed. Until I discovered you came into the courtroom in disguise, I fully confirmed my suspicions.
What suspicions?
You were hired to kill, and your purpose was to silence.
So, Mr. Shun, what do you think? Why did I come here?
You could have escaped, but instead you risked it all by showing up at the trial for one reason. Your mission is not yet finished.
Oh, how I want to open and see that clever brain of yours.
Guards, quickly, arrest her!
Wait, Judge, I still have questions for her.
Mr. Shen, I know what you want to ask. However, I only speak the truth to the dead.
If I'm not mistaken, all of this is to cover up the truth of my brother's murder.
John, what have you discovered during this time? What do you think is the truth of the case from years ago?
Days ago in the police station's prison cell. Mr. Shun, it's time to eat.
Thank you, Officer Wu. Just put it on the ground.
Okay, I will collect it later. Oh, he recreated the notes.
Why bother pretending to be diligently investigating the case? You know very well that after Stonewall's death, all the previous efforts have been in vain.
I have said it. That is none of your business.
You've wasted 3 years of your time, and now you've even landed yourself in prison. Yet you're still being stubborn.
Face the reality, John. The one who killed your brother was himself.
Young man, I say this one last time. Your brother has recent bruising on his fingertips. Similarly, there are fresh scratches on the chair legs where he was sitting. This indicates that he was still conscious shortly before his death.
But
even with your suggested method, a conscious person awaiting death from a falling dagger should still be considered suicide.
well, yeah, the coroner re-examined the body and there were no signs of localized anesthesia. We speculated your brother held the dagger through his shirt sleeves. No fingerprints were left. My parents passed away early. My brother took care of me as I grew up. I know he was incredibly resilient. No matter the challenges, he will never give up on life. John, I understand your feelings. Everyone's done their best, be it ye or us. Please sign here.
Sign it or not. The body's preservation period is up. You'll be cleared from the cold storage tomorrow.
Aye, sign away, John. It's time to look forward.
Later, you were forced to sign the document, but you were also determined to find the murderer. Over the next 3 years, you traveled between China and the UK, gathering every possible clue. You thoroughly investigated every person mentioned in the case files and anyone related to them. You even formulated detailed revenge plans for each person, as if they were all criminals. The information you collected has filled the entire room, becoming too much to carry around. So you memorize all the details and cross-reference them in your mind. And all of this has exceeded the limits of what your brain can process. "3 years of hard work and yet no results. Have you ever considered that what you're trying to prove might be fundamentally wrong?"
I know all the doctors said that you would never get. But I won't give up.
No, you're the one oversimplifying the issue. Brian's murder scene matches the depiction in the death under the Tyson. It can't be coincidence. It's a case of a copycat crime. The murderer is someone who knows the content of the novel.
It seems you hit a wall and still refuse to turn back. You don't even know who Sinosura is, and yet you want to find other people?
How could I not know? Sinosura is...
Stone Wu?
You must be kidding. I have no clue. I have no clue with writing a novel.
Stone Wu. Indeed doesn't seem like someone who would write novels.
Oh? Then who do you think Sinosura is?
So who knows the book? Who knows the book?
Someone who's good with writing. He's good at writing reports, and the way he seemed to write his newspapers were somewhat novel-like, I guess.
Toby Chung?
Your intuition is clearly unreliable. Think it over again.
Oh. Okay, well, time to go with my second guess. Fuck. Well,
He's a pharmaceutical.
nope. Well, I'm not getting any penalties, so I'm just gonna select anything I can. Nope. What, the lady? Brian? My intuition tells me that Brian is the author of Death Under the Tyson.
Did you become a detective solely based on intuition?
Why would I think that way? What evidence suggests that the book was written by Brian? The book was written... Both what Stone Wu said and the photo indicate Brian has been to the Wu family's ancestral hall.
That is my family's ancestral hall. How did you know that? Oh, it must be Brian who told you.
And Sinosura, inspired by the Tyson in the hall, wrote Death Under the Tyson.
Oh.
Sinosura at heaven's very heart. Sinosura is the North Star. How could I not have thought of that?
Sinosura is the star that remains fixed in the oh no, that's Brian.
Sinosura is the star that remains fixed in the sky, always staying at the northern celestial pole. No matter how far away from home, as long as you find Sinosura, you can find the way back home.
If Brian is Sinosura...
You know what that implies?
The murderer is a casual reader. The murderer is an avid reader. The murderer is a casual reader. The murderer is an acquaintance of Brian.
The murderer is an acquaintance of Brian in London. This person is not only familiar with his life, but also familiar with his novel.
You have investigated everyone he knows. Does such a person exist?
There aren't many acquaintances of Brian in London, and they all have solid alibis. The murderer is an avid reader of Death Under the Tyson. Only such a person would attempt to recreate the murder method depicted in the story.
But the book has not been publicly published. There is no indication that this novel had been circulated in London. You know what that implies.
Could it be that the murderer stumbled upon the novel by chance? Did he develop hostility towards Brian due to a certain plot in the novel? But if the novel has never been published, where did this hostility come from?
Are you more inclined to waste time on these far-fetched assumptions, rather than confront the real answer?
The real answer?
You already knew the answer.
It's suicide! Brian's the murderer. Oh, he did kill himself. What? Oh, I have to hold it. So he did kill himself. Oh shit, I have to actually hold the button. Oh my god! So it was suicide, what the fuck?
Brian, I understand now. The question has never been whether or not, but rather why.
Shunping. Let's find the truth together.
All objects and all images settle in different locations sequentially.
Oh my god, okay. Oops.
The research paper about brucine was found on Stone Wu's desk. The paper mentions a new drug called brucine and it can be extracted from the Nux vomica plant. Auntie Vu believed Brian's occurrence of opisthotonus is due to strychnine poisoning, but toxicological tests show that there was no strychnine residue in Brian's body. A new drug called brucine is likely responsible for causing opisthotonus in Brian's body. Give these 2 points to... okay. It took 15 minutes from Kensington police station to the murder scene by car. The police arrived at the murder scene almost immediately after Brian's death. On the day of the murder, someone did use the telegram machine, but not to retrieve the key. Since Brian set up the trap in the room, perhaps he also sent the alarm telegram? Oops. Brian arranged the mechanism and had sent the telegram right before his death. Clearly, he wanted the police to be the first one to discover his death scene. There must be some special motive behind this. Normally, this case is to be handled by Westminster Police Station. It's closer to the scene. Due to the receipt of the alarm telegram, Kensington Police Station became involved in the case. Is this the purpose behind Brian's decision to go further away for help? Yes, it must be for this person. Joseph. Brian's friend Joseph is serving as sergeant at Kensington Police Station. Brian sent a telegram to him.
Any more clues? No. Okay. already did that. I don't know what to do at this point. Collection shows in the image.
It is evident that Brian had already become aware of being poisoned and closely watched. This is what prompted them to choose a suicide. He realized he couldn't escape the fate of death, so he left some clues at the scene for Joseph. He must have been very desperate at that moment. He had no choice but to be cautious of everyone. He had to convey the message in a secretive manner. Brian wouldn't do anything meaningless before his death. His suicide, by imitating the methods in Death Under the Yangtze, must be related to this purpose. This is very likely his means of conveying his message. But why was he so certain that Joseph would be able to understand his intention?
Brian, welcome back to the Conan Doyle Book Club. Enjoy the return, Joseph.
They're both members of the Conan Doyle Book Club. It's highly likely that Brian showed Joseph Death Under the Yangtze before. The missing book is likely the manuscript of the Death Under the Yangtze. Joseph took it with him. There, Brian must have left his death note inside. In the case years ago, my brother indeed set up the mechanism and stabbed himself in the chest.
You have finally accepted the truth.
How could this happen?
Even so, that case left behind many mysteries. Among them, the one that puzzles me the most is... Joseph, you clearly know better than me the connection between the crime scene and that novel. Why did you hide it from me?
So he is up to shady shit?
In the book you took from the scene, there's something my brother left for you, right?
What?
My brother sent a telegram to Kensington Department before he had died, for you as his best friend. It was to ensure that you could enter the scene as soon as possible. Joseph, are you still planning to keep it a secret?
In fact, it was Brian's intention to keep it from you.
What? What do you mean?
I met Brian at the Conan Doyle Book Club. He loved Conan Doyle's novels and even attempted to write his own. This notebook contains all of his manuscripts, and Brian only showed them to me. Death Under the Yangtze is my favorite piece. We even recreated the tricks mentioned in the book in his study. Unexpectedly, in the end, he reminded me to read the notebook in such a way.
What else is in the notebook?
Besides the novel manuscript, there's also a research report on cocaine tucked in the notebook.
Joseph handed the notebook to Shun Chunping.
Shun, I think I've heard you mention the name Croc before.
That is a plant. My brother learned about cocaine from an article by Freud, and studied it for many years. According to the research report, he discovered a new drug, cocaine, from the croc plant. He wanted to develop an opium cessation drug to suppress withdrawal symptoms after opium addiction.
Unfortunately, this research did not ultimately succeed.
Is it because the new drug cannot effectively suppress opiate addiction?
On the contrary, patients quickly get rid of their dependence on opium after using the drug. But, without exception, they develop a stronger craving for the new drug.
Are you saying that after all years of studying cocaine, instead of developing a quit-smoking medication, he ended up with a more potent drug than opium?
Oh shit.
From the research materials left by Brian, it appears to be the case.
Oof. So everything my brother did was to entrust these documents to you?
I think, yes.
I'm getting more confused. If Brian just wanted to hand over the documents to Mr. Joseph, why did he commit suicide?
He did this for... Joseph, let me take care of this.
Old Bill, you familiar with what happened back then?
Brian's research project was funded by me. The tragedy 3 years ago, I still find it regrettable to this day. Officer, quickly fetch a chair for Mr. Bell. When Joseph introduced Brian to me, his research was under the suppression of the Sassoon family.
Sassoon family? The Jewish tycoon that prospered from the opium trade?
Exactly. At that time, Brian faced numerous difficulties, almost being forced to drop out. I funded him with a supportive mindset, and unexpectedly his research soon yielded results. A year later, he successfully crafted the initial version of the opium cessation drug. Regrettably, in clinical trials, the drug demonstrated a significant risk of addiction. A patient who self-administered a large dose became highly agitated and succumbed to arrhythmia. This incident left Brian profoundly remorseful and plunged him into deep confusion. In subsequent research, Brian consistently tried to decrease the amount of cocaine in the drug. Finally, he successfully formulated a reagent capable of eliminating fatigue and uplifting mood. But, with prolonged observation, subjects still showed tendencies towards drug abuse and addiction. Shortly afterward, tragedy struck again. Another patient who took the drug had strong hallucinations and ignited a fire in the hospital. This devastating fire became the final straw that broke Brian's mental state. The reason Brian chose to deliver the information to Joseph in an extreme way was to have Joseph halt the development of the opium cessation drug. But actually, he could have approached me directly to convey his concerns.
No wonder 3 years ago, Watson Pharmacy ceased all operations related to the opium cessation drugs.
Is it necessary to keep such things from me?
Brian wanted to develop opium cessation drugs, but ended up creating a new addictive substance. That's why he didn't want you to know about it.
We have wasted too much time on Mr. Shun's personal affairs. Now that the facts are clear, we should shift our focus back to the current case.
Mr. Shun, do you intend to persist in pursuing your brother's case?
No, I don't think that's the truth. If Brian took his own life out of guilt, it still doesn't explain the existence of this fact.
Why the fuck did he poison himself?
This one? The conclusion that he took his own life out of guilt cannot explain the contortion of his body. The coroners I consulted all said that this was a typical symptom of Nox vomica poisoning.
But the strychnine test came back negative. The opisthotonus should be caused by other reasons.
No, it was poisoned by brucine.
Brucine?
This paper shows that, besides strychnine, Nox vomica can extract a substance called brucine. It has a weaker toxicity, slow on the onset to poisoning reactions, and is less detectable.
There is such a drug?
My brother's suicide is not due to any psychological issues, but a desperate actor upon realizing he had been deadly poisoned.
So, who do you think poisoned him?
The culprit who poisoned Brian and hired Ting Xiang to kill Stone Wu was none other than...
Who poisoned Brian? Who knew the existence? Well, it can't be Stone Wu because he'd be killing himself. Oops, I clicked out. My brother Yangtze and hired Ting Xiang. Watson? Because he's the one who funded the research.
Yeah, all clues point to the same person. Mr. Bell, you are the mastermind behind both cases.
Watson?
Mr. Shun, are you accusing Mr. Bell of murder now?
I am.
John, what made you misunderstand me?
I'm not misunderstanding you. Stonewu sold a patent to the Watson Group at a high price before leaving London. And the author of exploring methods for extracting brucine from Nox vomica is Stonewu. I'm sure he sold the extraction method for brucine to you.
Reasonable association.
Old Bell, aren't you planning to defend yourself against such accusations?
A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. John, you are just temporarily blinded by hatred. I believe time will provide the answers, and he will gradually understand my perspective.
Mr. Shun, the court does not entertain baseless accusations. Do you have evidence to support your claim that Mr. Bell poisoned your brother?
My brother's time of death was on August 15th, 3 years ago between 2 to 2:28 p.m. His body was discovered in opisthotonus, with a twisted and eerie facial expression. The bloodstained scratches on the chair legs indicated he had just experienced unimaginable pain. Clearly, my brother exhibited symptoms of the late stage of brucine poisoning before his death. Brucine ingestion usually leads to death within 4 to 5 hours. Considering the timeline, this evidence suggests that Mr. Bell is a murder suspect.
Yeah, because Ford of... Oh, man. Yeah, that's a huge window. Yeah, because he met him in his office.
These telegrams can prove it.
I've submitted the decrypted contents of the telegrams to court. Mr. Shun, I don't understand. These seem like ordinary communications. How do they prove that Mr. Bell poisoned anyone?
Which telegram specifically incriminates Mr. Bell?
As Mr. Bell himself mentioned, time will provide the answer. On the morning of August 15th, my brother went to Mr. Bell's office. Around 2 p.m. in the afternoon, he exhibited symptoms of opisthotonus. The interval between the two events is exactly 5 hours.
In the eyes of a bigot, my guilt is presumed innocence. A mere shadow. Joseph, why don't you try talking to John and persuading him?
Right.
In fact, this evidence lacks sufficient strength. John, as you just mentioned, the time from poisoning to death is 4 to 5 hours. During the period from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., Brian had contact with many other people.
You and Officer Jones investigated all of his movements, and you questioned everyone who saw him. You know better than anyone he had only had coffee at Mr. Bell's on that day and nothing else.
At 9 a.m. that morning, I have arranged to meet.
Oh my god, I clicked out.
Arranged to meet Brian for coffee to talk his recent conditions.
And
unfortunately, the known eyewitnesses don't cover the entire period. It's also challenging to confirm whether Brian had consumed any food or water at home.
Huh? That's quite a convenient excuse. Even if someone did poison his food or water, it's hard to verify at this point.
This case is quite complex and requires further investigation. Mr. Bell, may I trouble you to go into the police station? That would be convenient. Would that be convenient for you?
Joseph has raised unreasonable suspicion. Until this question is resolved, I don't believe it is necessary to trouble Mr. Bell further.
Thanks to Judge Herman's reminder. Mr. Shun, do you have any evidence to respond to Prosecutor Bell's suspicion?
Shun is in trouble. Cosine, we need to help him. I'm not familiar with the case 3 years ago, but in Mr. Bell's previous statement, I noticed a certain inconsistency.
then let's say it.
When I'm unsure of if Judge Herman's reasonable suspicion holds, I can't help but wonder, why did Mr. Bell lie in his previous statement?
Lie? I wonder which of my words led Miss Wen to misunderstand.
Misunderstandings? Your words clearly contradict this evidence.
I'm guessing this was last year? Oops. Yeah. It occurred 1 day later than the time of his death, because it didn't specify a different year, so... yeah.
Mr. Bell, the fire you mentioned earlier, did it occur at St. Mary's Hospital?
I think, yes.
That's strange. The fire clearly occurred on the night of August 15th, after Brian Shun's death. Why did you say it broke Brian's mental state? Or maybe Brian never thought of giving up his life, and the so-called suicidal tendencies were just lies you fabricated.
It seems that as time passes, even memories are beginning to play hide and seek with me.
Mr. Bell simply made a mistake about the time, which does not constitute a false statement. Miss Wen's viewpoint is irrelevant to the issue, and I object.
Judge Herman, it comes to reason for Brian Shun's suicide. It comes to the reasons for Brian Shun's suicide. How could it...
Is it the same as poisoning someone if a person simply misremembers the time?
Mr. Shun, do you have any other evidence regarding to the poisoning accusation?
Not at the moment.
Since there is no other evidence, I'll have to reject your request.
Even though we lack evidence linking Mr. Bell to the case 3 years ago, there is evidence suggesting his relation to Stone Wu's case.
What? This is a bit unexpected.
Afu, I believe Mr. Bell poisoned my brother and is the mastermind behind Stone Wu's murder. There is a deeper connection between these two cases. You are more familiar with the Stone Wu case. Please help me find the clues together.
Leave it to me.
Please present evidence that shows the connection between Mr. Bell and Stone Wu's case.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was written by Stone Wu. Yeah. Rubine's refining method was sold to Mr. Bell by Stone Wu. When I was about to investigate further, he was murdered, clearly to silence him. But if they really wanted to silence him, why not do it 3 years ago? Why wait until now? Things can't be that simple.
Okay, they don't punish you for that. Okay.
This. In the box are old case files. I cannot see the link between the Watson group and Stone's case.
Let me think more about it. An item lost by the Watson Group appeared in Stone's study. Oh, okay. Actually, the evidence has been in Sergeant Singh's hands all along.
I didn't. Don't frame me.
Among the evidence seized by the police, there's a photo that Shun took from Wu's study. By chance, I discovered that there was a note tucked under inside the photo frame. 1,000 grams of water, 200 grams of sugar, 100 grams of dry ice, and 4.8 grams of citric acid. If I'm not mistaken, this note is the missing formula for Watson's Group's cola water. It's also what you've been instructed to find all along.
How could this be?
This formula, it doesn't belong to the Watson Group.
It should be fairly easy to authenticate whether or not it is your formula. Just...
This does not meet the standard of evidence. Rejected.
But I haven't said anything yet.
Since the formula was found in Stone Wu's study, should be assumed it belonged to Stone Wu. Unless there is clear evidence to the contrary.
There should be the evidence that could prove the connection between this formula and Mr. Bell.
Of an unknown ingredient. Is there cocaine inside it? Oh my god. Is this a reference to the fact that Coca-Cola used to have cocaine in it? That's pretty funny.
Just by examining the content of the formula, you will notice. The ingredients of the cola water include cocaine.
Cocaine is a new drug developed by Brian, only mentioned in his notes. It can be said that the chemical structure of this drug is almost unknown to anyone, except for Mr. Bell, who was involved in the drug development, and Mr. Joseph, who holds the notes. And they are both connected to the Watson Group. Got him.
It is clearly stated in my brother's notes that cocaine is highly addictive. Even in small doses, it is no exception. This is the true secret behind the success of Watson's cola water. It's also the fundamental motive for Sir Bell's murder and cover-up.
That's an interesting speculation indeed.
Your argument still doesn't explain why the formula for Watson Group's cola water ended up in Stone Wu's study.
The theft of the formula for Watson cola water by Shanghai Phantom is widely known news. In the previous trial, the police clearly stated that the Shanghai Phantom has a close link with Stone Wu. Therefore, it's reasonable that Stone Wu possessed the stolen formula from Shanghai Phantom.
Herman, it's the first time I've seen someone leave you speechless.
Thanks to you as always.
It seems that I need to explain why the formula cannot belong to the Watson Group. This is also the true secret of cola water. However, I need a more private environment.
To protect the business secrets of Watson's Group, this case is transferred to a non-public trial. Please ask unrelated personnel to wait in the lobby outside of the courtroom.
Watson's group's reason. The true secret of cola water is there's actually no such thing as a secret formula. It's just a marketing strategy.
A marketing strategy?
Do you think that a product can achieve such a huge success solely based on its formula? No, it relies on branding and storytelling. The secret formula of the magical beverage is hidden in a priceless safe. What a fascinating story. Who can resist the temptation to explore and satisfy their curiosity by taking a sip?
No, it shouldn't be like this.
Mr. Shun, what is your intuition about this?
My intuition tells me, if the secret formula is just a marketing gimmick, there'd be no need to publicly admit the formula theft. It would tarnish the product's fame.
I agree with that. From what I know, the Watson Group has offered a hefty reward for clues on Shanghai Phantom. They must be genuinely searching for the formula. Let me explain the situation to the two judges.
No need to rush. While I may well convince Judge Kwan, Judge Herman was still rejected with various reasons. What's more troublesome is that we lack solid evidence of Mr. Bell hiring the murderer.
Herman talks about procedural justice all along, but he only selects rules that favor Mr. Bell. It's impossible to expect him to make a fair judgment unless Mr. Bell admits it himself.
Perhaps that's the best option at the moment.
Are you suggesting making him admit it himself? Is that even possible?
Mr. Bell obviously values his formula, otherwise he wouldn't kill for it. Things that a person cares about often becomes their weaknesses.
Mr. Shen seems to have changed a bit.
Mr. Bell, let me confirm again. The so-called secret formula stolen from the Watson Group doesn't actually exist, right?
That's correct.
Judges, it seems I made a mistake. Since the formula in the frame is not related to the Watson Group, it must belong to my brother.
How do you deduce that?
The chemical structure of cocaine has never been made public, so Stone couldn't have known it. According to Judge Herman's logic, if the formula is found in Brian's photo, we should assume that it belongs to Brian. Am I correct?
What do you intend to do with the formula?
The formula is the legacy of Mr. Shun's brother. Mr. Shun has full control over it now. Why is Mr. Bell so concerned about it?
Actually, there's no harm in telling Mr. Bell. I intend to.
Make the formula public and destroy the formula. Well, this is to make him confess. Destroy the formula?
I plan to burn this formula as a tribute to my late brother's spirit.
Sure, why not do it right here and now?
Mr. Bell, have you thought this through? Shun is not joking. Afterward, no one will be able to formulate the cola water.
Of course, it's your choice.
Oh. Fuck. Well, shit. Oh no, I have to start all over? Unless it's auto-saved. Oh, fuck. God damn it. No, they still have access. You know what, I'm just gonna...
I plan to send the formula for fingerprints testing. If someone has tried to produce a soda based on this formula, there'll be fingerprints left on it.
Sure, I hope you find that person soon.
God damn it. Okay, so it's literally just publicizing that shit.
I've last asked Miss Wen to take care of disclosing the formula.
Who do you entrust it to is your choice.
It is good to hear that from Mr. Bell. I heard Zhonghe, Guanghe, and Yili, the 3 soda factories, are all interested in this formula. Luigi in Suzhou is expanding their business in Southeast Asia and could be a potential partner. I will also send a copy to Jardine Matheson, a shareholder of your Watson Group. Considering the lucrative profit in the soda industry, they probably won't refuse. By the way, I plan to publish 2 articles in Shanghai News with these headlines. Detectives found in the color water formula while tracking down the Shanghai Phantom. Watson Group strongly denies the presence of new type of opium in cola water.
You better think carefully about the consequences of libel. Can you afford to bear them?
The formula belongs to Shun. He can give it to whoever he wants. Bite me.
Old Bell, how about you double check one more time? If the formula belongs to the Watson Group, I'll order them not to disclose it.
Admitting the formula belongs to the Watson Group means you are suspected in 2 murder cases. If you deny it, then we have the right to disclose the formula. Eventually, you will have to drink one of these 2 poison drinks.
Furthermore, you can't explain why the cocaine that only you know about appears in this formula.
The formula is a trade secret of the Watson Group, and you are not authorized to disclose it.
Miss Wen, Mr. Shun, the formula is the property of Watson Group. You cannot dispose of it, let alone disclose it.
As you wish.
Guards, please escort Mr. Bell to the police station to assist in the investigation.
Mr. Bell is not a criminal, he doesn't need to go anywhere.
Based on the current situation, Stonewall's death is most likely linked to the cola water formula. Although Mr. Bell has not been convicted, he does have major suspicions against him. Assisting in the investigation is a necessary process, and I hope Judge Herman cooperates.
Your country's judicial process is barbaric, disregarding human rights. Mr. Bell, as a British Empire citizen, his dignity must be protected. Without conclusive evidence, I believe he has no need to undergo any investigation.
Thanks to Judge Herman's reminder. Huh.
Shun, this is outrageous.
We don't have definitive evidence, so it's not surprising that he would say that.
This is a deadlock. We have used up all the available evidence, and they won't let Mr. Bell undergo investigation. Are we expecting evidence to fall from the sky?
Perhaps only this person can provide the final breakthrough in the case.
The one hired by him?
Something doesn't feel...
The final breakthrough? Oh, Joseph, okay. Mr. Joseph hasn't spoken for a long time. His mood seems to be very bad.
Joseph, can I ask you something?
What is it?
These reports and notes everything you took from Brian's apartment. However, there is no mention of me in either the reports or the notes.
What do you mean?
The document left by my brother don't mention me, which contradicts what you said earlier. Earlier, you said that it was my brother who asked you to keep it from me. But there is no mention of me in any of these materials. I think he must have left something else for you.
He... Joseph, my proud son. For the honor of the Bell family, don't say anything that would disappoint me.
Joseph, follow your heart.
Joseph!
Daddy won't buy Cece the cola water. Cece doesn't want to drink tea, just wants the cola water.
Said the lion, but that doesn't make me any braver. And as long as I know myself to be a coward, I shall be unhappy. Cece, why don't you go play with Uncle Wu outside the courtroom? Daddy will join you after work. Officer Wu, thank you. John, your deduction is correct. This tissue has Brian's handwriting on it. I've kept it with me all this time. It wasn't until today that I fully understood why Brian chose to write these words on this tissue, and the pain he went through when he wrote them.
Promise me you will stop the release of the opium cessation drug. Take good care of John. Keep him away from all of this.
Ryan.
The tissue was taken from Watson's office, and it has the logo of the Bell Mansion. This ring is an imprint from a coffee cup. Though it's 3 years old, it can still undergo analysis. Wherever there is contact, there will be traces. If your deduction is correct, the imprint should be able to detect remnants of bruising. Why was I not informed about this? How dare you keep this from me? I'm sorry, Watson. This is not just for Cece, it's for myself as well. For the past 3 years, I've been burying my head in the sand like an ostrich. I'm a fucking prosecutor.
In my country, there are 400 million people, and among them 8 million smoke opium. These 8 million people, from the elderly to children, are all deeply immersed with opium. Their families' wealth is scattered, their lives in ruins. The severity of opium addiction and the agony of cessation make it difficult for them to quit.
Is this why you chose to research this niche field?
Yes, sir.
Young man, you are an idealist, but you know nothing about business. In fact, opium persists not just due to addiction, but due to significant vested interests. Opium trade benefits, while prohibition has no profit. If something cannot generate profits, it cannot endure for long.
Yes, many people have said that. Thanks for your time.
But I am also an idealist. Father, are you saying you're willing to fund Brian's research? I believe that's just what I'm funding for. What I am funding for is the well-being of humanity. See? I told you that you could persuade him. Mr. Shun, a pleasure to work together.
Mr. Bell, Joseph, I'm grateful beyond words. Oh, Mr. Bell, you're also here.
Joseph mentioned that you're not feeling well, so I came to check on you.
All 20 patients from St. Mary's experimental group showed signs of drug abuse.
No need to worry about this. As long as the dosage is controlled, there won't be any issues.
But patients voluntarily requested dosage increases. I'm concerned about the drug's release.
Did they request opium during the treatment?
No.
It indicates that the opium cessation medication you develop is effective. Brian, you truly are a pharmaceutical genius. The moment you've been dreaming of to defeat opium is about to arrive.
But the side effects...
Every drug has its side effects. We can further develop new drugs to help people overcome these side effects.
Mr. Bell, we can't launch a drug when we know it has addictive properties.
What do you suggest?
We need to expose the dangers of cocaine. Caution to the public.
Are you sure?
I created a monster with my own hands. It must not reach the public. I'll compensate your research funding.
Oh, that's when he poisoned him.
You're always an idealist, Brian. So far, nobody knows cocaine. Once it is made public, aren't you worried that the Sassoon family will turn around and develop an alternative? Even if you can convince me, can you convince them? Come, have a cup of coffee to calm down. I heard John is working part-time in Boston to support his studies.
How did you know my brother's in Boston?
He is your brother, of course. I have to take extra care of him.
Mr. Bell, are you threatening me?
I'm planning a further future for you and your brother. Do you want shares in Watson Group? It can make you both live a life of prosperity and wealth forever.
I develop opium cessation drugs to prevent tragedies, not for wealth.
In that case, I respect your decision. Keep a close eye on him. Make sure he gets home and never steps outside again. After 5 hours, go inside and retrieve all of his research files.
And then they realized he was poisoned.
Why is there so much noise outside?
Sir, St. Mary Hospital is on fire.
Yeah.
The fire will turn everything into ashes, won't it? The night in London hasn't been this bright for a long time.
It's your property, aren't you worried?
Everything comes with a cost.
Grandpa, when can we go home?
Darling, we've got to stay here for a bit.
Why?
Someone once told me there's like 400 million people here, but only 8 million people. Market development rate is a real disappointment here, right?
Cola water, cola water. They're saying cola water in Chinese. Yeah, they're saying cola. Yeah, cola shui. Yeah. Cola meaning Coca-Cola and shui water.
Cece also wants Coca-Cola water.
No, darling, you can't drink the cola water. How about Chinese tea?
Can I put a bit of fruit juice in the tea?
Of course.
Cola shui. So much cola shui.
And you know what? You've given me a bit of inspiration. Maybe I should put some fruity flavors that kids fancy into the cola water. Sorry, John. I once thought Ryan sacrificed to prevent the release of the opium cessation drug.
Joseph, it's not your fault. But Mr. Bell and the Watson group must face appropriate punishment.
Who do you think you are?
Judges, now we have evidence of Mr. Bell's poisoning. Can we proceed to bring him to justice? Lord Bell, this lad seems dead set on getting the law to come down on you.
Then go ahead and try. Arrest me.
Why does he not sound afraid at all? Mr. Bell's crimes have already been proven. Isn't that enough?
Mr. Shun, I heard that you studied law in Boston. Surely you have heard the term jurisdiction, right?
The victim is Chinese and the culprit is in Shanghai. The Shanghai governor does have jurisdiction.
Mr. Bell is a citizen of the British Empire. A small court in the Far East without even a jury and a group of laymen in law. How can you ensure that this British knight receives fair treatment? Consular jurisdiction exists precisely for this purpose.
Consular jurisdiction. Consular jurisdiction refers to the authority granted to a consul to adjudicate civil and criminal cases involving citizens of their countries residing abroad. In accordance with their own national laws, the establishment of the consular jurisdiction in modern China dates back to the 1842 regulations for the conduct of affairs in the Jiangnan area, and expanded over the time to include rights to observe trials as well as the establishment of administrative and judicial bodies independent of the Chinese legal system. This led to difficulties in the judicial jurisdiction and significantly infringed upon China's sovereignty.
Consular jurisdiction.
Based on the agreement, British nationals' crimes can only be adjudicated by the British consul.
But it's obvious that they are colluding. We can't let them escape punishment like this. Is there anything else we can do?
This is the current trend, something neither you nor I can change. Judge Kwon, being able to see the trend is your greatest advantage. Enough of this, Watson. Fulfill your promise to me. Stop the opium cessation drug business. Enough of this, Joseph. 3 years ago, for you, I took all the opium cessation drugs off the shelves at our pharmacy. I'm a man of my word. No, not in the form of cola water. That is a new business.
Oh, god damn it. Hold on. Fucking bot in my chat. There we go.
That's a new business. In fact, this remedial measure opens up a whole new market for us. Liar! Joseph, my child, you've inherited my kindness, but business is business. You know why I come to Shanghai. The Sassoon family's opium business is doomed after the opium agreement between China and the UK. There are 8 million addicts in China, and they all need opium cessation drugs. It's a huge market. At that time, we will surpass the Sassoons and become the most powerful family in the Far East. But you're fully aware that cocaine is not an opium cessation drug, and it's worse than opium. God, you are stupid. Trade is free. Where there is demand, there will be supply.
It seems that Mr. Bell's intentions is not the opium cessation drug business, but to replace opium with cola water.
Opium is innocent, and cola water is even more so. They are just commodities.
If drugs are innocent, why did the British government pass the 1868 Drugstore Act? If opium is innocent, why do so many people die because of it? Why do families fall apart? If the cola water business is innocent, why did you poison my brother? Why did you kill Stone Wu and those innocent people at St. Mary's Hospital?
Everything comes with a cost. I gave you the best choice, but unfortunately you were all too short-sighted.
The so-called best choice is to let you continue poisoning us with cola water, isn't it?
This pitiful country of yours, backward and corrupt, is also adept at putting on airs. Your people have been cultivating poppy here decades ago, and countless people profited from it. Factories and schools were built on profits from opium. You should be well aware of that, right? The International Opium Commission is about to be held, I believe. Opium Commission? Haha, do you really believe that China can eradicate opium?
I do.
John, you, just like your poor brother, are both idealists. I deeply sympathize with what Brian has gone through. In fact, for Brian, I not only sympathize but also greatly admire and appreciate her. Without his invention, there wouldn't be the globally popular Watson Cola Water. But you have to know that human suffering is a result of their own choices. Those who smoke heavily have free will. Did anyone force them? No, they chose to smoke for themselves, just like your pathetic father. And your self-righteous brother, if he hadn't rejected the shares I offered him back then. How could he end up in such a situation?
When a fish bites, don't rush to pull up the... Oh god, there will be a noticeable tug when the big fish is hooked. Just now.
In fact, you cannot feel at ease as you claim to.
What are you smiling at?
If you didn't have fear in your heart, you wouldn't have resorted to murder to cover the truth. And the last evidence that I'm going to present is prepared for your fear.
It's just a report, right?
No, not this. Oh.
The cola water?
No, fucking goddamn it.
Oh goddamn it! Well, this is awkward. I just save me the trouble. Oh, it is Shun's briefcase.
Watson, I have prepared 2 gifts for you. Over the past 3 years, I have investigated all suspects in Brian's case, especially you. This briefcase contains various criminal records related to the Watson Group. Not only from your pharmacies in Shanghai, but also in Hong Kong and London. All contact leaves traces. I know how you cunningly acquired Hong Kong pharmacy. I know how you disguised cheap tonics laced with opium to make your fortune. I know how you colluded with corrupt officials to protect your fake medicines businesses. I know how you committed crimes repeatedly and used the legal system to escape punishment. I have visited the victims of these events. Through them, I have gradually built the chain of evidence for your criminal career. Only the final piece was missing. Just now, Joseph provided the crucial evidence, and everyone heard you confess in your own words.
Then, why not bring those victims and file a lawsuit in a jurisdiction with the authority? I can assure you that your so-called evidence and testimonies won't be accepted.
So I have prepared another gift.
The other gift is the phonograph broadcasting machine I invented.
Ha 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 ha. Phonograph? Sun Ping, are you planning to use it to end your life like your brother?
Enough, Watson. Brian sacrificed himself to protect those documents just to ring the death knell for you today. Your dirty business is over.
Ha! You are even more naive than your brother. The opium business has been going on for half a century. You people are sick. the sick man of East Asia. Do you really think you alone can change the course of history?
No, I'm not alone. I have seen an editor who traveled tirelessly for the liberation of thoughts and literature. I have witnessed a foreman who dedicated his whole life to new steel-making technology. I also know an official who, even without blueprints, hammered out the first steamship. Beyond them, there are millions of Chinese people striving to change the era despite adversity. And opium is one of the most urgent issues our country must confront. We must make every effort to eradicate opium and drugs to save ourselves.
Tribute to Mr. Tang Guan. On February 24, 1909, during the 12th season of the International Opium Commission, the Chinese delegate Mr. Tang Guan delivered an English summary speech exceeding 8,000 words. He began by emphatically stating the consumption of opium is the most urgent moral and economic issue our country must face. He analyzed the dangers of opium trade from multiple perspectives, emphasizing that solving the opium problem must rely on China's own efforts. Additionally, he appealed for cooperation between China and the West to combat the opium menace together.
Shun is right. I raise both of my hands in support.
I will mobilize my friends in the press to expose the truth about cola water.
Count me in. I will do my best to promote the anti-smoking and anti-drug campaign.
And us too!
A bunch of rabble.
Why is there so much noise outside?
People are gathering outside, demanding justice for the culprit and the removal of bad merchants.
What?
Oh, I guess they heard it all from outside. Wait, was somebody listening into the court?
What on earth's going on?
The phonograph's broadcasting machine can record sounds and then broadcast them. Now, not only can we hear you speaking, but everyone outside the courtroom can hear it too. Oh, he hijacked the radio signals and literally broadcasted the confession in 4K. Not 4K, it's sound, but...
The headlines of the newspapers in the next few days will definitely be about this. Soon, the whole world will know the truth.
Joe?
This is a non-public trial. How dare you broadcast the trial without authorization? Is this how you Chinese disrespect rules?
Rules? Who is...
Is that his auto? Oh, whatever, I'll do it in his voice.
Rules? Who is it the one that is really disrespecting the rules here?
How dare you look at me like that?
Your rules always have two sets of standards, one for yourselves and one for others. There is only one rule in my book. If you choose to do evil, you must pay the price.
Damn.
George, the angry mob is trying to storm in. The police can hardly hold them back. Protect me!
Xie
Xie is a mythical creature from Chinese legends featuring a single horn on its head and expressive eyes. It possesses the ability to discern right from wrong and loyalty from treachery, symbolizing judicial fairness. Historically, the character for Law, I don't know that fucking character, but I think it's Zhou? Was written as... I don't know that character either. Incorporating... I don't know that character either, which represents Xie. Okay, I'm guessing that means Xie then. Since the time of the King Wen of Chu, the Xie cap has also served as an adornment for law enforcement officials, reminding them to distinguish clearly between truth and falsehood. This tradition has been accepted and recognized throughout successful dynasties. Even today, the statues of Xie are commonly placed as the entrances of many courthouses, signifying the continuation and promotion of traditional legal culture.
Judge Kelvin, as the esteemed British consul, I will do everything I can to assure your safety. But if you insist on protecting Mr. Bell and fail the justice, public anger won't be appeased. No one can guarantee that the tragedy of the Li Huang case 3 years ago won't repeat itself.
What's the Li Huang case?
In 1905, Mrs. Li Huang, a widow of the Cantonese official, along with 15 maidservants, was accused of human trafficking while passing through Shanghai on her way back to her hometown. During the trial, the British deputy consul overstepped his bounds by interfering in the case involving only Chinese nationals. Despite the lack of sufficient evidence, he openly assaulted Chinese officials and forcibly detained the accused, sparking collective protests from the Chinese community. The situation escalated when the public, dissatisfied with the municipal council's protection of the British deputy consul, surrounded the police station in a demonstration, leading to conflict that resulted in nearly 100 casualties. Oh my god, that is... oh boy.
It's up to Judge Quant's decision.
As the presiding judge, I pronounce Watson Reuben Bell guilty.
Yeah, we did it! We beat the game! We did it, we beat the game! I think this is the last case, until the DLC.
No, it's not over yet. Since that's the case.
Oh shit!
Don't mind me. I don't mind making another mistake.
Watch out, Shun! It's the two horses! Shun!
In 1909, Tang Guan gave a remarkable speech at the International Opium Commission held in Shanghai. The meeting led to the first international drug control treaty, the Hagway Opium Convention in 1912. In 1928, the Republic of China attempted to abolish all consular jurisdiction in China. However, due to resistance from foreign countries, its goal was not achieved. In 1943, ROC ended UK and US consular jurisdiction in China through an agreement. In 1949, People's Republic of China was founded, ending consular jurisdiction and foreign privileges. In 1950, PRC's proclamation on strictly prohibiting opium eradicated the issue in 3 years. Okay. In 1987, the UN set June 26 as the International Day Against Drug Abuse in Vienna. Okay.
Oh, who shot him?
Oh. Forgot to tell you, boss. All my bosses end up like this.
Oh, I got saved by the hit woman. Well, damn, that was an unexpected turn of events. Oh, man. Oh, you get it for free. Nice. Damn, who knew I would have gotten saved by a fucking serial killer? Or I guess a hit woman. A serial hit woman. Oh, yep, there's Yin Chu. Yeah, he got shot in the arm. Well, the bullet grazed him, it looks like. Oops. And what is Joseph's plan? Suspend his duties as prosecutors and... okay, going and tackling the cola water issue. Yes, he got his brain by solving this case. Oh boy, yeah. The fucking killer. I don't think you should give her a lightened sentence. She's a psychotic killer. She literally kills her clients after she does the job. She is a psycho. Do not lighten her sentence. Oh, they're still looking for the Shanghai Phantom. Okay. Oh, and there he is. Shen Chunping. Yeah, the bullet grazed his right arm. Oh yeah, it's time for them to part ways. What's the headline this time? I haven't decided yet. Yeah, a lot of people worked on this game. Huh. Oh, they even included references. Well, unfortunately my basic bitch Mandarin skills can only translate less than 1% of the text. And we are developing the name, we've learned a number. Yeah, they're referencing all the all the games they got inspiration from. Yep, Ace Attorney is one of them, and also Danganronpa. Yep. We did it! We beat the game! Until the DLC comes! Oh.
Huh?
Mr. Chung, why are you here?
Aha! I'm here to return this.
My photograph broadcasting machine! Well, if it's helpful for you, you can just take it.
Nah, keep it and make it better.
Toby, I truly appreciate your assistance.
You are the key. I'm just a journalist who doesn't want to miss out on the big news.
No, your contribution to this case is much greater than it appears. It's the formula you stole that plays the key role.
What? Mr. Chung is the Shanghai Phantom?
Nah, I can never do that. Stowe noticed that the symptoms of people who drank cola water were the same as the subjects. So we asked someone to steal the formula of cola water to verify our hypothesis. However, before I laid eyes on the formula, Stone was murdered and the formula disappeared. I tried several times to enter the scene and search, but never had the opportunity. To my surprise, Stone hid the formula behind Brian's photo. Now that I think about it, it is indeed the most proper place. Oh, I almost forgot the purpose I came here for.
It seems I misunderstood, Mr. Wu.
Which means...
When I was investigating the cellar, I thought he was a bad guy selling opium sensation drugs. But... wasn't it Mr. Chung who was involved in the pharmaceutical research back then? How could Mr. Wu know the specific symptoms of the subjects? Well, we're about to find out, maybe.
Detectives, a friend asked me to give you this.
Is this a commission letter?
Smart as always.
I appreciate it, but I plan to go home and tell Brian that his last wish has been fulfilled.
I believe you won't refuse this case, Mr. Shun. Oh. That's probably the DLC case. Or probably something unrelated to the DLC. Whatever. Because I've seen the trailer. That doesn't seem to be related, but... eh.
Shen Zhongping and Afu are still on the journey.
Okay, well, we beat the game! Yippee! And we gotta wait for the DLC to come out. Whether or not I'm playing it, well, I guess it depends on things, but... Anyway, farewell for now. And see you in the next stream. Which I hope it's tomorrow, because I think it's going to be a mission in the Neon Divide Alternative session. And I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to make it as an NPC, but we'll see. It'll be my first mission as an NPC, so it'll be an interesting experience. But yes, farewell for now.